So there's a budget. The first offer is almost never the top of the budget because the company wants to leave room for people who happen to negotiate, for people who may have another offer and their hands are tied. They're going to negotiate. In negotiations, you want to show some give and take. And so for people who will negotiate, you don't want to shut them down right away. So you say, okay, sure, here's a little bit more.
Welcome to another episode of Gentle Power. Do we
Yes.
even do that? Or like, how do we ever start it? We should keep this in, by the way.
Yes, okay, sounds good.
yeah.
This episode will be a little choppy. You will see us having stitched together parts from different recordings. That's because the first time we recorded this, our second recording ever, so
Yeah.
we're so new.
Still getting used to the technical equipment. We have a mic, tripod, all that stuff.
Yeah, and what happened was we talked for an
Probably
hour.
A long time.
Yeah, a long
Enough to
time.
make you facepalm when...
And I was seeing your face go through different colors and you not paying attention. You were such a great listener. So I'm like, what's going
Thank
on?
you.
And all of a sudden we realized.
The reason why my face went white last time we recorded, because I looked at the mic and it was muted. So we got the video, but we didn't get any of the audio. And we are recording this
To
many
supplement.
days later
Yeah.
to add that as the intro for that episode. But I want to call out also just the fact that, it might be a little choppy, all that. One thing that we've really learned in our business, and this has been very hard for me because I'm a perfectionist, but you really need to, as you always say, just 80-20 things. So just do 80% of the effort. Or no, 20% of the effort that will get you 80% of the way. Wait, hold on. I think I screwed this up.
Basically, don't be a perfectionist,
Don't be a
where
perfectionist.
100% of the things need to go right and tweak every detail and make sure everything is perfect. It's funny because I say that a lot, but I think it's because it hasn't been relevant to things I care deeply about. I care so much about this podcast, and I've spent hours.
Gerta's been really heads down. I haven't talked to her for days now.
I wake up at 7 randomly, 7 a.m. and just like working all day. I
Yeah.
lose track of time. Such a nice feeling. But anyway, this is not going to be a perfect episode. It will feel stitched from different recordings, but the ideas will hopefully be coherent. At the end of the day, we're a very small startup. It's the two of us full-time and a few part-time people. But yeah, we just want to ship, as they say, ship things
Yeah.
unfinished.
Yeah, just push it out, and you actually learn along the way.
Yeah.
And that's actually how you get better. You just need to take that first step to actually just put stuff out there. Even if you feel uncomfortable, feeling like, oh, I didn't say this thing perfectly, just put it out there.
Yeah.
You get the data at how it's received, you get feedback, and you just continue to improve from there.
Yeah. I'm continuing the segue from where I said we're a small startup, but there's a beautiful quote that says something like, when you do the things you care deeply about, the entire universe conspires to help you.
Whoa.
I'm not very superstitious, but that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And basically where that showed up for us was as we started the company. There's so much you need to do when you start your own company. You don't realize how much you take for granted when you go to a job, especially a corporate job. So much is already taken care of. But for us, a young company, you have to work on the website, the logo, all these small things, and that are also very important.
Opening bank accounts, starting an
accounts,
LLC, keeping track of all the
taxes
paperwork.
and everything. Yeah, there's a lot. And one way in which we got so lucky with our business is that early on, maybe the first month or two, as we're trying to figure out literally everything, including setting up the website, having a logo, you see a post on LinkedIn that's relevant to our business.
Yeah, for context, one of my former coworkers at Instagram, he and I worked together. He was a director of design of one of the teams that I supported when I was there. So I left Instagram. He also left Instagram. He raised and worked on a startup for a few years. He left that startup, and then he was starting his own independent design agency. Similarly, like us being early in our journey, Derek, he posted on LinkedIn and said, I'm starting a business around helping small businesses with design support. And for this whole month, I'm willing to work completely for free for several businesses. So I commented on his link and I said, that's us. We're a small business. We would love any support, because we were just drowning and also didn't really know all the things that we had to do when setting up a business.
I just want to call out that one, he was a director of design at Instagram, one of the global companies with one of the best
Products
designs
and
and
apps, yeah.
products. And he was also offering to help for free. And you guys had not worked very closely together.
Yeah,
Like,
we weren't
I
that
had
close.
never heard of him before you mentioned this.
Yeah.
And I had heard of your other colleagues. And so we ended up working with Derek, and he designed our website that's gorgeous. It's yournegotiations.com, plural, yournegotiations.com, and this logo, Y/N,
Love the logo.
which we find very smart, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about what it was like working with Derek.
Yeah, so I commented on his post and I said, we would love your help. We just started our business. Don't look at our website. It's embarrassing because
Did
we
we
had
have a website?
we had a website.
We
Remember
did.
when it was
I
it
do
was
not remember.
I basically just kind of built it in like
Okay.
a Squarespace
Yeah.
type of thing. But
Our website right now is absolutely gorgeous. The,
Oh my gosh,
the
I love
colors
it.
are beautiful, like beautiful yellow and purple. And the logo, he came up with this logo, which I think is brilliant. I'll get to the feedback that we've gotten about it shortly.
Yeah, I remember. So when we started working with him, we worked with him for about a month. We hopped on a call. He really just asked us a lot of questions around, okay, what is our business? What are you using now? What kind of tools? How do you think about a funnel and all these things? These are things that we didn't even really, we knew we had to do, but we just didn't even know where to start.
Think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, to think about
And
it.
I just remembered, when people think of design, they think of pretty apps or interfaces. I just remembered he helped automate a lot of our processes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a more comprehensive meaning of design.
I remember when he first got back to us with the design and the mock-up of the website, and then seeing it, I was so blown
You
away. And I
called
think
me.
I think I called you. I was like, babe, you have to see this.
Yes.
What Derek just sent us.
I
It
was in
inc-
Palo Alto. I was, at the time, I had a part-time job with my mentor's AI company, and Alex calls me. It was urgent to see the website.
Yeah, and he helped us think through not just, first of all, I mean, website and the logo and everything. There's just like a lot of thought behind the YN logo and all that. But he also set up, I think he was the first one who helped us think through
Like a
the journey
flow.
of a potential client. What is the first touch point? What tool are we using? Depending on how that goes, what emails do they get? He really just started getting us thinking about how important that is for a small
Yeah.
business like ours. Because as there will always be more things to do than you have time for.
Yeah.
And the more that you can automate, the more that you can make things routine. Every minute, every hour counts.
Yeah, and I think I was in disbelief when he made the automations. I think when he shared it, hey, I made some automations. Like, actually made that? Are they active? I don't know. I was just...
Yeah. He had made that. He actually
Yeah.
connected our accounts.
Right.
Yeah.
So to us, that was so valuable, and he just did all of that for free. Derek, we are so grateful if you're
Yeah.
listening to this.
Thank you, Derek. I mean, we'll send this to you so then you
Yeah.
can listen. Getting all the kudos.
Have all your family members watch it and subscribe.
Yeah, smash the subscribe button below. No, okay.
And luckily, we have a service that can help different people from different backgrounds, and we, as like a thank you later down the road, we help one of his family members negotiate a job offer. And so
Yeah.
I felt
And we
very
got-
indebted to him
Yeah.
for all that work.
And I remember it resulted in a good increase with the help. So I think everyone, especially as we've started building this business, we're meeting a lot of other people who build similar businesses, and it's really cool just how we all just help each other out. Yeah. And because we know other people who are product management coaches, other instructors, experts in fields, TikTok, Instagram creators who are experts in certain areas, and I've really also enjoyed the process of building our network in this world, and everyone just wants to support each other.
Yeah. Awesome. What are other ways that the universe has conspired to help
I was going to say when your parents come visit, and also I think this speaks to just the tightness of the San Francisco community. Our friends often travel, and
Oh, true.
multiple times friends who are out of town,
Yeah.
they've said, of course your parents can use our apartment.
Yeah.
And it was always in our neighborhood, and we just have very generous, giving friends.
We do,
And,
yeah. And that does come back to the startup, because our budgets are much tighter now, and so being able for our parents to crash at our friends' homes, it saves us some money. But also, one of Alex's friends is a United pilot, and he gets us on very cheap flights, which is so helpful for a small startup that we are, and we have both put all our eggs in this basket. And so it's not like we have, a husband or wife that is diversifying the portfolio and is working in a corporate job or anything. So every little thing helps. Another thing that I thought of is when we go to Albania to visit my family, things are a lot cheaper there because it's a developing country. And we actually got these shirts made there. So I think here these shirts would have probably been maybe $50 to $100 depending on quality and how quickly we want them made. But in Albania they were much cheaper. So
Arbitrage.
So there's all these little ways that we couldn't have imagined the universe would support us during this journey, but we took the dive anyway because we care so much about building this business and helping people have better futures through higher income. And our community and circumstances have really supported us to continue down this path. So I think we're good here.
I think we're good here.
So I have gotten some feedback on this logo. I love it. It's Y/N for your negotiations. This is hinting at the yes or no thing.
Which I think it does feel pretty smart, pretty genius.
I think it's smart, but some people say, well, you don't want to look at negotiations as a yes or no. You want to expand the pie. And absolutely, that's how we think of negotiations. They're very collaborative, they're very cordial, or they should be collaborative and cordial. And it's not just about saying yes or no. So this is more meant to be almost ironic in a way, where it hints at the negotiation, right? Like someone asks you, do you take this offer, yes or no? And when I think of yes or no, I do think of negotiations. But our approach is so much beyond that. So I actually see this as ironic rather than how we approach negotiations. I just wanted to address that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you agree, Fami? Yes. Okay.
Fami agrees. We are good.
Okay.
All right.
Now we'll talk about negotiations, and we'll mainly focus on why the first offer is almost never the best and final, which means you should always negotiate.
Never accept the first offer on the spot.
Definitely not on the spot.
Yeah, or even just the
even
first
later,
offer. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but I just felt like you need to get that out there. People need to remember that. Yeah.
And two is why and how not to give a preferred salary number or a preferred salary range or total compensation. Same thing.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
The company is like, hey, what's your preferred salary? You say a number. Let's say my budget is 200, right? You say, I want to make around, 170. Well, I'm not going to give you more than 170. I just learned you will accept 170. Great. You want 170? I'll give you 170, even though I had set aside 200K. So now you just left 30K, 200 minus 170, on the table. Or you could say my preferred salary is 250. Well, my budget is 200. 250 feels way above my budget. And so I'm like, wait, maybe this person, they don't understand what this role is, like that doesn't pay 250, or they're very entitled, or they're misguided or something like that, or they haven't done the right research. So I might be turned off if you say 250. So the reason not to give a number is because it could be below the top of their budget and now you've left money on the table, or above the top of the budget and now you've turned me off as an employer and I might not be excited about you. I might look at you a certain way and I might just deprioritize your candidacy.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't give a number. So now why don't we give a range? If you say 170 to 250.
Right. So it's basically like a trick math question going along in line with your math brain, because even though you have given a range, that range also includes the lowest number that you're willing to accept. So saying 170 to 250 is similar to just saying 170. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't actually help you to say a range, even though psychologically it might feel like, oh, I'm actually also saying that I would accept a lot more. But no, at the end of the day, what recruiters, what employers are listening for is just to know what is the lowest that you're willing to accept. And if you give a range, the bottom number is the lowest you're willing to accept.
Right. So when you say, I'm looking for something 170 to 250, you feel good about it. You're like, I'm worth also 250, by the way. But what I hear is I'm willing to accept 170. So I'm like, great, I'll put 170 in the offer letter. So that's why you also don't give a range. And then this leads to what we talked about on the last episode, which is to how to navigate an online job application in such a way where you don't give a number or a range when you're asked in the online application.
Yep. So to sum up, the reason why you don't want to share a number or range is because a company has their budget for a role, how much they're willing to pay to actually secure someone. That is their golden number. That's their ultimate leverage. They're never going to share that with you, right?
I guess they are not terrible negotiators.
Yeah. I can't really think of even an exception where a company would actually share with you their budget unless they're not good negotiators. And so they have their golden number, their budget. If you give a number that's below the budget, you've left money on the table. If you throw out a number and it happens to be above the budget, you are risking them thinking that there could be a misalignment in this role, that you maybe misunderstood it. You're basically just...
You're entitled, which is actually a red flag.
Right. Companies don't necessarily want to see that. And so you're just adding risk to your candidacy and you're just not helping your case. Mm-hmm. So at the very least, don't add more risk when you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
All right, I think
we can wrap this up.
We can leave it there. Again, we have way more free resources on our website, yournegotiations.com. We have our newsletter there. We also share a lot on LinkedIn. We share tons of advice. We'll make sure that these links are in the show notes. Are YouTubers still saying, like, smash that subscribe button below, or should...
Cringy millennials.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, GFF, and so, smash that subscribe button below. With that, we will see you all with the next episode of our pod, and reach out if you ever need anything.
Bye.
Bye.